Hello, this is the Ashley Corinne, and today I'm going to talk about M-theory and polytheism. Now, polytheism was the preferred theism for the ancient pagans, and it's beginning to make more sense if you look at polytheism through the scope of M-theory and string theory. Because in M-theory, basically, the top scientists, the top physicists in the world, believe that there are not only four dimensions, which is the three dimensions of space and the fourth dimension of time, but there are actually 7 more levels above us, or 7 more dimensions, creating 11 in all. And this structure of the universe somehow makes it so that there are multiple dimensions. There are alternate dimensions, like in the show Sliders, and basically there's other dimensions that are like ours, and there's other dimensions that are similar to ours but have differences, and there are dimensions that are like ours but have drastic differences, and then there are universes that are actually nothing like ours. There could be universes with no life at all. There could be universes with no planets. There could be universes that are complete energy. There could be universes where the Big Bang never happened, and so it's just a singularity. You know what I'm saying? But they actually believe that the Big Bang process is probably caused by different membranes crashing against each other or something, and so thus creating universes all the time. So universes are always being born, and universes are always dying. But anyways, but this idea of higher dimensions, now in Gnosticism there was our world, and then there was 7 heavens above us. And there were different gods that ruled each heaven. And in the 7th heaven was Sophia. And she was actually the mother in the myth. She's the mother of the God who created this universe. And so there's 7 heavens above us, and I think the Gnostics might have gotten the 7 heavens idea from the planets, the seven planets that we see in the sky, including the sun and moon, of course. So it'd be the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So that's probably where they got the idea, but I just think it's interesting that in Gnosticism they had this idea of 7 heavens above us. And if you think of us being the 4th dimension, if instead of saying heaven you say dimension, they were basically saying that there are 7 dimensions above us. They're higher dimensions, and funny enough, although they're closer to our skin than our clothes, we can't sense them or touch them or see them or anything. But this is the funny part: is as you go up in the dimensions, they actually get smaller. They actually get so small that they get to be about, I'm not sure what the exact number is. It's something like a millionth of a millimeter or something like that. Something crazy insane like that. Like, no, even more than that. It's like I don't know. It's really fucking small. And so, anyways, so there's all these other dimensions that coexist with ours, hence the Celtic other world idea. And these dimensions actually touch ours in certain key points. But this is what I'm saying with polytheism. Okay, just imagine that there are dimensions like ours, except humans are smarter. They're way more intelligent, but they're like us, but they're way more intelligent. Now think of another dimension where we're not only smarter, but we have psychic powers. We can levitate objects, and we can read thoughts, and we can see the future and everything. Okay, and then think of a dimension where we're like the X-Men, and we have mutant powers, and people can do amazing things that for us are impossible. Now imagine a world where we have all these insane super powerful abilities and powers and gifts, but we're also immortal, and so we can't die, so we live forever. Could you imagine a being who from another dimension is more evolved than us, who has great powers and is actually immortal? If that person appeared to you and said, I am the everything, I am the Alpha and Omega, watch what I can do, and they demonstrate their great eternal powers, and they say, I created everything, I am God, wouldn't you believe them? Especially if you were, imagine not even in our advanced human society. What if it was to primitive man? What if it was to Homo erectus or Cro-Magnon or Homo habilis or fucking Lucy, man. Lucy. Could you imagine if Professor Xavier appeared to a group of primitive humans when they were first learning how to break apart rocks for tools? Could you imagine what those primitive humans would think of Professor Xavier? They would think he was God. The God who for some reason could not walk. So it's just a little something to think about. Hey man, I'm a polytheist, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at it through the scope of M theory, it actually makes sense. And so, of course, now we come to Michio Kaku's eternal question: if these higher beings exist, where are they? I'll get a coffee and then I'll answer that.